I think it's ironic that I've blogged numerous times about the weather in Oklahoma. I've talked about the beauty of the wheat, the spectacular sunsets, and the fury of the wind. I've talked about how I want my life to be passionate and have meaning, and how I don't want to be guilty of not living life to the fullest. Well, as you know, we lost our home last week to one of Oklahoma's fiercest tornadoes. We knew the day was supposed to be bad. We knew there would likely be tornadoes, so we took our precautions and went about our business. I packed a few things and put them by the front door just in case, and ended up sitting and watching the storm coverage. I was watching a tornado at Longdale when the weatherman said the storm southwest of us had started to organize. I felt a shiver of panic, called my friend to make sure she was home so I could run to her shelter, and checked outside. I made my decision to go, and I packed my truck. As I pulled out of the driveway, my brother called to ask me where I was. That's when I got scared. I drove over to my friend's house, and we went straight to the shelter. As we rode out the storm, I never really believed there was severe damage. But moments after we crawled out of the shelter, my phone started ringing with the news. Our house was hit, and the damage was bad. I drove back over to my house with my friend, and as we approached the house, my mind just couldn't take in what had happened. The damage wasn't just bad, it was extreme. The storm that had organized southwest of us produced an F5 tornado that hit head-on. We were right in the middle of the damage path. Right in the middle. We lost everything. Every dish, every vehicle, every wall, everything. It was destroyed. My heart sank for a moment, but what I couldn't and still can't understand is the overwhelming sense of peace I felt then and still feel. I try to explain to people that it took only seconds for us to lose everything we owned, but within a few short moments, God began replacing those lost items with all of His greatest gifts. The first person I saw when I arrived at the house was my friend Laura. She met me with a hug, and we approached the mess together. And within minutes, other friends arrived to do whatever we needed them to do. Over the next few hours and days, we became so overwhelmed with love, support, generosity, concern, prayers, donations, that it was hard to understand. It was so hard to truly understand how complete strangers could pull up in our driveway and hand us money. Strangers showed up in work gloves, ready to work. Neighbors suddenly became family, and those strangers weren't strangers anymore. What I can't stop thinking about is how each person seemed to know what we needed, and it seemed like they were capable of everything we needed. Some people cleaned up, some gave money, some brought food, some did laundry for us as we found items we tried to salvage. Some brought in heavy equipment, and I have to tell you, one man that I barely knew showed up and spent hours simply picking up glass. He didn't even know us, and he showed up to work and picked up glass. Who does that? What kind of people show up without calling just to provide whatever they could? They didn't have to call and ask. They didn't sit home and just think about us. They acted. They showed up ready to provide for us. Those kind of people must be God's chosen. They just have to be. I've told people that the tornado was so incredibly powerful. I can't understand how wind can shred 40-foot metal shipping containers and then toss them a mile away, yet leave eggs spread out on the floor uncracked. It sucked out all of my furniture and tossed it in every direction, most of which isn't found, yet left a glass vase untouched on the floor, when the table it was on is smashed to pieces. I can't understand how it works. My mind just can't comprehend it. It's like God put His hand on certain items and He said, you can't have that, and you can't have that, and you can't have that. It's unspeakably amazing. On the other hand, one cannot understand the selfless giving of the people in our community. At least I can't. The way God restored us in those first few hours and continues to restore us daily is overwhelming to the point that all we can do is cry. Cimerex came in and began cleaning up destroyed home sites, and also started buying homes for the people who lost theirs. Their generosity is unbelievable, to say the least. They are working so hard to give everyone their lives back. They come early and they stay late. They don't break for lunch. They just keep working. I wish I had better words to explain how incredible our friends, family, neighbors, and even strangers have been. I am humbled deeply, and I am also filled with the realization that I have never offered my services to people like that. I've never reached out to a stranger and gave them $100 and said, "Take this and be blessed," and then walk away without telling them my name. I've never approached a destroyed home and said, "I'm here to help. I brought gloves and put me to work." So yes, I am humbled to say the least, and I am saddened by my lack of action. However, I believe God has big plans for us. He has to. There is simply no other explanation. I want to find a way to repay and thank the people who have helped us, but I know it might be years before that can happen. I want to be that kind of person, though. I want to be like Mary Ellison, who said, "I want to buy you a new outfit right now." I want to be like Patty Betts, who said, "I'm doing your laundry, bring me everything." I want to be like Leanne from Houston, that I didn't know till that morning, who said, "I'm not giving up on this dog. I'm taking her to the vet to save her." And she brought us our sweet dog who was found in the debris pile. I want to be like Lynn Griswold, who showed up immediately with her work boots on. She climbed over the rubble to come hug me and said, "I'm here to do whatever you need." I have a serious feeling that God has big plans for us. This week has been exhausting, stressful, and exhilarating. We are mentally fried, but I'm eager to see what happens when the fog lifts and we are settled a bit more. I imagine God has work for us to do, and I'm excited about the possibilities. The wind in Oklahoma is furious, to say the least, and we experienced that on Tuesday. But I believe that whatever the wind blew in, it had goodness in it. I don't think I have to worry about living a passion-filled life either. I think it's already happening.